Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Uh, Good afternoon. My name is Tia J. Suresh. I'm a co-committee member of IET-VIT and I will be your host for today. I'm pleased to see the enthusiasm of the audience and would like to welcome you all to this event, an alumni's guide to opportunities. We have with us today two of our prestigious alumni, Ms. Mansi Shukla and Mr. Vivank Sharma. With his knowledge in full stack software and machine learning, Mr. Vivank Sharma is now part of Dell Technologies as a software engineer. As for our next guest, as for our next guest, Ms. Mansi Shukla, after completing her engineering at VIT, is currently working as a software development engineer at Amazon. She is an enthusiastic technology analyst with experience in developing REST APIs and automating processes with Python. We are honored and grateful to have you with us today. Let us dive a little deeper and find out how they've reached where they are today. I have with me a few questions that I think would give a better understanding of your journey. So I'll start with the first one. What are your responsibilities at your respective companies? Like, give us an insight about your job. Vivek, did you start?
Okay, I will start. So I am working in Dell EMC basically. So EMC got acquired by Dell and now it's Dell Technology. So EMC's role was majorly in developing servers. By servers, I mean not the virtual servers, the hardware servers, the data centers, data farm, which you see in Azure Data Farm. So mainly I work in file system team for servers, and my software is Power Protect Data Manager. And there my major role is in developing the system file system. Basically we have different interfaces, embedded interfaces and APIs too, for file explorer, and there are setups. So I work on that for storage providers and radar of arrays. So that is my job description, and mostly I work in C++ for operating system level coding, and Java for interface and UIs and the rest of the things.
All right. Uh, Mansi, what about you? Could you tell us?
Yeah, sure. At Amazon, I am basically working in AWS FinTech. My team is part of AWS FinTech, and we develop a tool which is used for headcount management. It's used for all the leadership. It's an internal tool. So coming to actually job responsibilities, so at Amazon, uh, the role is specifically at my team. It's kind of a full stack development. We do end to end everything, starting from front end, back end, testing, writing unit test, integration test, deployment, on call, like name one thing and everything NSD does at Amazon generally. So it's not very specific, it's a very wide, you can say, a spectrum. And apart from actually doing technical work, in any company you go, generally you will have a lot of operational excellence tasks also as part of your role level guidelines and responsibilities which you have to fulfill to maintain a good stand at your team. So I mean, development, doing all the OE tasks, and maintaining like some leadership stands also. So yeah, that's what NST does at Amazon.
All right. Thank you. So, what has been your journey in college? What do you miss most about VIT? Uh,
Tarama.
Skill block.
Yeah.
yes, like
Mm.
that is something you would miss, honestly.
Uh,
Basically, we miss the fast moving life. Mostly, I miss it in college. We
yeah.
didn't used to get time, and now it's more like doing a repetitive job every time. So it
Yeah.
stated.
In college, actually, yeah, it was nothing fixed. Like we used to get up, so we used to do a lot in one day. We don't do that much now. We used to get up early, go to the classes, labs. Then we had chapter meetings, desk duties.
We used to take chapter meetings more seriously than our company daily stand-up.
Yes, we used to have so many chapter meetings, desk duties, and then all the events and everything. Then our quizzes, assignments. So yeah, that was a lot that we used to do as a student, and we used to learn also. So yeah, kind of
And
like, hmm?
as a student, one thing which you get most is you have the freedom to explore.
Yes,
You can
exactly.
do whatever you want. Like right now, so let's suppose you're working on Spring, you say I got bored with Spring, let's switch to Django. You can do it like this. In corporate, if you have something defined, you have to stick to it. Just sticking
Yes.
it. In my company, my code is like written in 1988 and it's still running. So that's the thing.
Yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities in college which, like, if you grab them, you will grow and you will explore. And there are so many chapters, and there are so many events, and so many workshops, and everything. So basically, there is a lot to learn, and people are there to teach.
And a
In
lot of
corporate,
opportunities you
yes, a lot
will
of
get
opportunities.
after college.
Yeah, when once you are out of college, you have to create opportunities for yourself. Nobody else is going to come and do it for you. You have to move forward, you have to do it. So everything is like your responsibility apart from doing your specified job. So yeah, that's one thing, that growth is like not that much as it was. I mean, growth is there, but in terms of learning, college is like the best. And yeah, VIT especially, the running we used to do from SAT to GDM within 10 minutes for the classes.
We used to be slim.
Yeah.
From N block to SJT, it was.
Yeah,
And
for boys
that
it was even
too,
more.
in our time, SJT used to have only two lifts. That too, we were not allowed in that. So we used to walk down all the stairs. I guess now they have added so many lifts.
Yeah, I think we have like six or eight, seven.
As
Yeah,
the
we have.
privileged ones.
Yeah, so that's was a good thing.
How
No,
about
so
the tunnel coming up? Is it done? That SJT to M block tunnel.
yeah, I think it's done. Like now. Yeah.
That's great. See, again, privileged ones.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you like could change one thing about your past, like in college, what do you think it would be? Like,
So one thing that we could change. What will I change? There are many things which I can't say publicly. I am deciding which one should be the safest option to say so that the chapter doesn't get closed. But yeah, I would have spent more time rather than on slipping to engaging in even different chapters, different events. I was more centric to my chapter that I am this, so I have responsibilities, I have duties. Trust me, you don't. If anyone is in chapter doing something, you don't have that bound. Even if some seniors are telling you that you have to do this, it's upon you. If you think it's good for you, just go for it. If you don't think, just there are ample amount of opportunity. That's what I like about VIT. There are clubs, there are chapters, there are random things happening, organizational level, and everything is like you just open your mail of DSW in the morning, you will have 10 to 15 events.
yeah,
So just go ahead, grab that. If any senior is telling, just mail the same thing to DSW. He's making me do this.
Yeah. I think for me also, I would say broaden your scope. for everything, not only limited to clubs and chapters, but also when coming to your academics. So the syllabus that is defined, you have to see how much it is going to help you further in the real world applications that are being built. What is the scope, and how you can actually implement that. So generally as students, everyone does that. We just go to the class, we have those ppts, we just mug them up, go and write in the exams. This is what everyone does. So one thing that I would go back in time and change was taking those practical things more seriously, and actually making more good projects, like so that we used to do a lot of research, and okay, whatever seems to be the best, which could be built in lesser time, we used to do that. But one thing that you should do is you should research what is going on in the market currently, what type of projects, what is the tech stack, how the actual applications are built, and what is your syllabus, how you can actually link it to the real world applications and expand your horizon. So yeah, that is one thing that I would
Uh, so, how is your placement process in college?
Placement.
Yeah.
So, what do you say that mullah, the person who is pushed for sacrifice?
Okay.
So we were those public. We were the first one to deal with COVID,
Oh,
and we like on 15th of March we had used to have some event called TUC. On
yeah.
15th of March we were having TUC, and on that evening we got to know we have to go home. On 16 we were at home, and we don't know nothing. College is closed for 2 months. Our placement is was supposed to happen after 2 months. We didn't know shit. The world was crumbling. So it was a whole different level of experience. It was first time online and everything. So, but yeah, one thing which you have to respect, like whatever you say about VIT, the placement which it gave in the pandemic, no one is at even at the same level of VIT. And we have a lot of friends, lot of network in other colleges, even in our companies and all. We know. So don't underestimate VIT. Just make sure you are ramped up. The rest let VIT take care of.
I agree. Yes,
yeah,
Mansi.
I think placement, yeah, it was a dark time, to be honest, and we were all very scared. We actually got a mail from Pat that due to the ongoing pandemic, we are not sure how many companies are going to come. But hats off, I mean, yeah, like there were so many companies, and the placement was at then really good. Just you have to be prepared. Don't wait for the placement to start. Start your preparation beforehand, at least 6 months beforehand. Whatever your domain is, competitive coding or electronics or anything, just start your preparation. Be prepared so that when the placement starts, the first opportunity that you get for the interview, you should be able to perform well so that you don't have regret that I didn't have that level of preparation. Rest, getting selected, not selected, there were a lot of factors. It depends on a lot of factors. There's a luck also. There are like n number of factors, and you wouldn't even know why you're not getting shortlisted for one company. A person with less CGPA than you would be getting shortlisted, but not you. So many things like these happen, which are not under your control. Which I don't know how Pat does the filtering and all that, but one thing which is in our hands is being prepared. So just do that. Trust the process. VIT gives a number of opportunities. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Alright. So, do you have any certain tips for acing the interviews?
So for interview, I would suggest one thing, that don't prepare based on your interview. Start preparing based on your skill. Okay, if you have the right skill, the right company will come. Don't be like this company is going to ask this, so I'm going to prepare this. No, don't do that. Be ramped up so that anything that comes toward you, you will be able to handle it. So that's how you have to be ramped up. Don't ramp up by doing a specific set of questions. Think she ran away, but she came back. So don't prepare with it like I have to do this sets of questions for this company. No, it will change. It will change every time. They are not, and especially now in the starting of COVID, it was like they were taking help of geeks for geeks and lead code, but now it's not the same because even at that time that concept was new for them. But right now it's not new for them. They are well enough capable and they have ramped up on their softwares and infrastructure to make sure that the question doesn't get repeated and nor it does get found on internet.
I would say don't focus on the catchy YouTube video titled How to Crack X Company in 10 Days, How to Crack Fang, How to Crack Amazon. So just focus on your basic and core concepts. For every branch students, be it CSE or IT, the questions that are being asked as a fresher for placement interviews are in your that limited scope only. It's not going to come out of that. Just we don't study that in detail. Focus on your basic concepts. Focus on the competitive coding, development, whatever be your area. Stick to that. Stick to the. Don't just like go by the title key. This question was asked in this company, so I'll just practice these type of questions. No, go topic wise for everything. There is a set of process. There is a flow in every subject. So follow that flow. Then only you'll be able to be confident in that. If you'll just do like you're picking one topic from here, one topic from there, nothing good is going to come out of that. Follow a flow, and yeah, as Vivang said, don't target any company. Very, I have seen many people doing this mistake. They target a company. I'm going to target X company. I'm going to target Y company. No, don't do that, because this is not an off-campus placement. This is an on-campus placement. You don't even know if you're going to get a chance for the interview there or not, and that's not because of your fault. Maybe for some XYZ factors you won't get shortlisted. So for me, like there was one company which shortlisted only people who had below 9 CGPA. So things like these also happen, and if you target one company you'll be like heartbroken. So just be
Don't
prepared.
go with the like why I was not shortlisted. Don't ever
Yes.
ask the question.
Yes.
Like right now, I'm involved in my team's hiring process. I see like what they are smoking before hiring. They have like a whole Excel sheet with more than 100 rows of that criteria,
Yes.
and it's very weird criterias. Like you cannot even comprehend those things. So don't even try to why I was not shortlisted. You were not shortlisted because they had a very wrong set of parameters in with them.
Yes. So don't ever analyze yourself on basis of if one particular company shortlisted you or not, or you were able to crack the competitive test. Don't do that, and just be prepared. Be strong in your basics. I think yeah, rest things will fall ultimately.
So Anshul Kumar have asked competitive question versus coding versus development. So one of the most famous question, but I would say none will help you. Problem solving will help you. If you are good
Yes.
at problem solving, I have seen people from EC backgrounds, electrical backgrounds, mechanical backgrounds are in Goldman Sachs and all, not because of their coding skills, but because of their problem solving skills. And competitive coding is nothing but how you solve a problem. Once you, if you are aware of development, you are aware of how code works. So that is necessary for projects until and unless you have your hands-on. Like, see, theory is completely different with hands-on. Once you see a tutorial, you will find very easy. Like you will find tutorials like learn Django in 2 hours, learn Spring Boot in 5 to 6 hours boot camp. Once you start making your project, you will find like you will be biting your hands and head off. Like, what is this? So making projects is very necessary because it helps you develop your problem solving skills. Because while making projects, life will throw a very unexpected problems at you, which you won't be able to find it on Google. So there it pushes you to the last extent to ramp you up. But once you have the problem solving skills, you can get to competitive coding even in last 2 months of your placements. But yeah, competitive coding is definitely necessary for first round. But always remember there are 5 rounds going to be more ahead.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So, the way you approach any interview question is the interviewers analyze on your thought process, how you're thinking, not if you're able to actually give the solution or not. That is the last thing they're going to judge you on. The first thing they see is how you approach the question, how you think about that. So, if you have that ability to think logically, analyze it properly, be it any question on any topic, I think, yeah, you're going to make it. So, yeah,
So
that works.
Twitter versus LinkedIn for making networks in software industry. Also, what's your take of learning in public? Okay, so Twitter versus LinkedIn. Definitely, I like Twitter better. It have a community feature, but Twitter is a very good thing. But we have to understand our again, as Mansi said, starting. You have to analyze your current market where you are living. You are not living in your own fairy dream, right? You are living in a real world, so you have to analyze that market. So if you are getting a job through networking, then it must be a someone from higher position, and they will be definitely not from our generation. They will be one generation backwards, right? So even if you see in your home, your fathers are more aware of LinkedIn because of its ease to use, even though it have very less features, not so much UI friendly. But if you see use case wise, it's very simple for them. You just input company, you will get all your colleagues in your company and all your networks. You just search with your name. And in India, especially, I wouldn't say it is applicable for every country, but in India, LinkedIn is still the leaders of the industry are on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. And they are active on LinkedIn. That's the thing. They are
Yes.
ready to help you, mentor you, guide you.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I have got so many opportunities because of LinkedIn. I would say that. So, when I switched job, when I went to Amazon, or when I was preparing for interviews, I got many referrals and everything through LinkedIn. So, but you should know the right way to use any social media platform, be it Twitter, be it LinkedIn. If you know the right way how to approach people, how to actually use the resources over there, you'll be able to make it out of it. So, yeah. What's your take on learning in public? I can't understand. Do you mean like uh, getting resources online, or can you please elaborate on this? What's your question? Meanwhile, we'll move forward. I'll answer this question later.
Uh, okay. So, can you tell me few of the challenges you faced on your job? Like,
Okay, I'll take this first. So, I recently, like, not recently, I joined Amazon 3.5 months ago, probably. And earlier, I was in City before this, through campus placements. And the transition that I have had from City to Amazon, like, for the first transition is from college to corporate. And every company has their own set of uh, tools and frameworks which you have to get used to in order to get started. And when you go from college, in college we have a child mindset, like we are used to working on small projects and small teams. We, yeah, we know what is agile, we know what is the software development life cycle and everything. We are not aware of that, how it is actually implemented. So the first thing Not that challenging, but yeah, it takes time to understand the process of the company. And when you change any role, like I changed my job role when I was in city, I had a different role. At Amazon, I'm an SD. So that transition also is like very difficult. Difficult in the sense there are a lot of things which you are adjusted to while working at one particular company or while making projects at college, and getting used to the different set of tools and technologies and frameworks. For example, in college you're working in Django or Spring, you've never touched front end, but when you join your company you have to work on Angular or React. You don't know anything about that, and working on an Angular or React at a college level and at a company level is completely different. So if you list it out, first thing, getting used to the tools and technologies and frameworks of the company, getting used to the actual SDLC which is followed in the industry, and getting used to the tech stack that your company is following, and also following the deadline for the delivery. There is always a deadline for the software delivery, for your code and everything, and writing a clean code, testing the code and everything up, altogether you have to deliver within a very short deadline. So working in that, what you can say, in that pressure kind of thing with a good performance, that's one thing. Yeah.
For this, I would say VIT will train you enough for that. I have seen in other colleges they haven't done it, but yeah, the pressure which VIT builds now in college companies, we see like, yeah, it's nothing, man. We have completed 4 DAs and one quiz before 12.
Yes, we used to upload assignments like something, four
That too,
assignments, five assignments.
when were in college, there was no 4G network that prominent. There were some very few areas where 4G network used to come. In our room, the Wi-Fi speed was 50 to 60 Mbps, and that too on a good day. And VTOP is like, it's not that if VTOP is not running. The question was if VTOP is running. So that was the thing. So VIT builds the pressure, and it will be
Yeah.
helpful, definitely.
Okay, so Anshul has elaborated learning in public, I mean sharing on social media, or even learning in your tech journey or what you have been working on. Like people share about they learned some technology on Twitter. Yeah, definitely. Like there's no harm in following what people share. You will get to know, but make sure you're following the right resource. You're not following something wrong, which would deviate your understanding.
And
Sharing
also,
what you have learned. Yeah.
regarding the sharing what you have learned, I will take that. So there is one thing called habit. One, till you develop that habit, it is somewhat in a good way that you have a some kind of motivation that you have to share something on social media. Like if you are active on Twitter, you might have heard of days of learning of code, 100 days of code, something like that. There is. So there people post every single day what they have learned, some screenshots, some snippets, some document or some note which they have created. So it's only 100 days because I think it takes 100 day to make a habit. Like it's not a normal habit of waking up early. It's a habit of competitive coding or some different coding. Coding is very frustrating and depressing. Yeah, right. 100 days of code. So it is good to make a habit. I wouldn't say you have to follow through 100 days, but even if you are able to follow 50 days in the starting part of your life where you are learning the code, you don't have habit to code day and night. It is good to build a habit. But yeah, once you have a habit and once you are that par with 100 days, and even if you are doing something which can be a shareable on Twitter or lead code or LinkedIn with just one screenshot or one document, then yeah, you are going in definitely wrong path. After 100 days, your code level should be this that it couldn't be shared somewhere else apart from GitHub. So that's the thing which you have to follow. Yeah, it is very good for building habit if you are new to coding or you are starting your journey. But once you have started, make sure your GitHub shines more than your LinkedIn.
Yeah. Completely agree.
And Adi have asked, does open source contribution help anyway? So open source, I would say there is some used to happen at our time, some Google's GSOC or something, Google's School of Open Source, something like that. So that helped really because it will give you an insight how a company works, how a large level project works. It doesn't go with you, even if it's a small one line change or one word change, you have to do a whole testing. I misspelled in one of my PR pull requests. I misspelled one spelling. So now to fix it, it took me 2 to 3 days because I have to do that whole testing, deployment, and everything. So that kind of experience you will get in open source contribution. So that helps in building industry. But yeah, before that, make sure you are ramped up to actually contribute in a good project in a very good way, not contributing by doing side missions after project, but rather than be an integrator of that.
All
Yeah.
right. So one question is, can you briefly talk about your internship, like how it influenced where you got to today?
Yeah, I would take this. So, internship is the best thing you can get and peek into the corporate culture while you are at college, while you're a student. So, I did a few internships before my full time. I think I did three internships. Yeah, two were for SD, one was for data science. And the learning curve that I got from the internship was like nowhere compared to what I could have done on my own or from college projects. I mean, that's just on another level. Just that you have to get the right direction into the right with the right mentor or guide, whoever is there. I mean, I remember where I did internship, there was no guide or mentor, and we were left on our own to figure out everything, to gather requirements from designing the UI and everything, and we just had to present the demo. So internships are really good. You should always, I would suggest that always try to get a good internship anywhere possible. There is no harm. You're just going to learn anything. So that is the best part.
And one more thing in the intern is like once you join an internship in some MNC, they are not going to give you core projects. What they are going to give you is some kind of a different ad hoc project which
Yes.
they have planned a long way, a kind of small project. But the
Hmm.
magic of that small project is their small level is our college hardest level. So that's another scenario. But the magic of that project is they will ask you to build it from scratch, right from requirement gathering, requirement analysis, design doc, class designs, software design, and then implementing, deployment, CI/CD pipelines for that, everything from scratch. And even though it's a new project, it's a small project, they wouldn't let you deviate from the coding principles which they follow.
Yes.
So you will get in those 6 months period of time, you will get a lot of experience in coding principles, design principle, how software actually works. Like once you get into job, you will be working in the core project. So you know, like yeah, bugs are coming, these are stories, but you haven't seen how that software got built up from scratch. That software is standing. There was some time where it was getting planned. So during internship, you get that, and also in internship, your all mistakes are kind of oh, intern did this, so cute. Once you become full time, it will be like code फाड़ दिया जाओ fix करो.
Yeah. So that is one point where you are allowed to make mistakes and nobody is going to come run at you or shout at you. Just explore as much as possible and make the best out of it because yeah, internship is the best part. It actually gives you insight about how your full-time job is going to be like. So yeah, that's it.
So in comment, Akansha have asked what is the most important tool we should learn before placement. So there isn't most important tool. Any tool which you follow, make sure you are not of kind of like, don't make your horizon broad, make it vertical. Like go in depth, anything in that, you should be conquer that tool. There will be a company definitely, and yeah, don't go in something like which is not even yet adapted by industry. We are still in India. We have to get job in India, so you have to analyze the market of India as well. So go till you are in that horizon and you are making your depth, so it is good. And how important it is to have a good GitHub profile. So basically, yeah, projects is now if you have included GitHubs in your resume, GitHub link software repo, the interviewer gets happy. Your interview will get shifted directly. I will tell you from my experience in my company. Like we have the habit. Anyone comes from the interview, our first person is like, what have they asked? So during my time, if Mansi remembers, she had one friend who was interviewing for Novartis. He said this competitive coding they have asked and all. When I went, same interview panel, but they saw my GitHub profile. They opened it. They asked me to explain every single thing in every depth. My interview went on for 2 hours, and my final interview was like, just if you like biryani or not, you are welcome to Hyderabad. It was like that. So that's a
Yeah, it matters a lot. Like including GitHub repo links, including your GitHub profile, because people judge you that how much you actually implement. The see first thing is you're just including projects in your resume. Nobody is going to see how you implemented it, what you actually did as part of coding. So once you include your GitHub links to the resume and maintain your GitHub profile, that is actually a very good impression from my personal experience as well. Like it has been extremely great because interviewers are like they see that you have actually done something on ground, not you've just boasted about someone else's project. That actually proves that it is in your name, so you might have at least made some effort. So yeah, it is extremely important and it's part of.
thing, like you have to go with the emotional level as well. The interviewers are not some weird aliens from some other planet. They are engineers. They like seeing code.
Yes, they like seeing that you have actually worked. You have not just copied pasted that project description from somewhere, because that is what many people do just to include the project. So yeah, it's if it's good if you're able to showcase that you've actually done some work.
And one thing you always have to keep in mind that your interviewer was also an engineer grad, and he was better because they didn't used to have Wi-Fi and all. So you cannot fool them. They know
Yeah,
every
never.
tricks. If they are letting you, just think that they have lost complete interest in you. That's why they are letting you do whatever you want, because anyways you are not going forward.
Yeah, never try to think that I can just be fool this person
You
and be
cannot
the
outsmart.
smartest one. Never ever try to do that. That is just going to result, even if you're not able to answer some question, just show some thought process, because they're going to analyze you how you're thinking. Don't go and search the answer somewhere behind there, because they're able to see you. They'll judge you by your eye movement as well. So just, yeah, keep that in mind and be honest in the complete process.
Uh, yes, so what kind of skill set would you think we should develop in college?
If you are in a coding background, so I would suggest go for as many projects, or even if you are not in coding project, actually, whatever background you are, whatever stream you are following, VIT have this one thing called project component, the J component of every subject, right? Almost every subject have this project component. Make sure you do every project in every semester by your own. It shouldn't be a copy pasted from net. Yeah, on internet there are lots of resources. I agree. You can directly clone a GitHub repo. You just have all you have to do is figure out how that code runs. But don't go for that. Go for building it from scratch. Bring your own unique idea in whatever subject you are, in whatever stream you are. That will help. Whatever skill it is, because even VIT curriculum is not that old compared to other. It will definitely help if you go in. There are soft in our time there was soft computing, networking, and cryptography and all. So those projects used to have a great impact. DSA, it is like pure data structure building. You will use DSA a lot in company. So if you pick up a project, build up from your own, you will get a lot of experience and lot of learning curve will be there. So try to do that instead of focusing. The rest, so what skill you have to learn depends on what you want to be. So follow your dream. There is an opportunity. If you're not getting placed right in the first company, don't worry. People have got placed even in their last month of their.
Yeah, so coming to the skills, see, there are two types of skills, hard skills and soft skills. So coming to hard skills, one thing you should follow is, I'm giving example for the coding background. If there is a framework for front end or back end, every framework, every language does only have some minor changes, some syntax changes are there, or maybe some framework has some more functionality, extra feature is there, the other doesn't have that, but the core logic is same. The core logic of how you are generating the URL, how you are following the design, how you are actually using your classes, how you are implementing the flow is everywhere same. Try to understand that flow. Once you get that flow, getting adapted to any particular technology won't be that difficult. So yeah, again, as I said earlier, stick to the basics. Once you're sticking to the basics, any skill, it can be any technology, any framework, yeah, it would require some time and effort to learn that, but it wouldn't be that hard. So that is my suggestion.
So
Okay.
Anshul have this great question: app dev versus web dev. So if you are referring to the same Arjun Bhai, yeah, he was definitely the first tech lead of IET. But I would say once you learn a proper framework in depth, like full stack, you will come to know there isn't any such thing as app dev or web dev or computer dev. It's all about how you are packaging your software and shipping your software. So that's the
It's all about how you can code. It can be
yeah.
anything, app dev, web dev. You'll understand the flow. Just focus on your basic coding. Again, like it's the same. Stick to the basics. Focus on your basic coding, and everything is just layer to that. You just have to add some layering to everything. So
I've seen Mansi software roster, so it is kind of how we code. It matters. She code for one thing, but that same thing gets shipped to a mobile app dev as well. The same thing got shipped to mobile website and laptop website, tablet. So it's about how you code, and once you get in depth, you will understand that it, the if you're taking it as two separate things, you are going in a wrong direction, and no one is taking those three. Basically it's a simple interface, whatever it is, app, web, laptop, server. So even we develop things for BIOS. There is a UI in BIOS for disaster recovery. So it is made using the same spring which we use for making apps and websites.
okay,
Once
so
you start to know, you will be getting more familiar that what you are doing is not limited to the tutorial which you followed, but more of like it is limited to your knowledge.
yeah. So there is one interesting question: do we need to do internship in the field we want to pursue in, or is it fine if we do internship in a different domain? Ah, yeah, suits me. So I did my 6 months internship as a data scientist in a Singapore-based firm, and my job role is in SD. So sometimes when I was switching my job, I was asked, Why did you did internship in data science? Why are you going for SD? But I never regret it because I learned so many things which are actually helping me now. So I learned a lot about Microsoft Azure during my data science internship. I learned a lot about how to actually deal with clients, how to actually work in real world projects. That everything I learned over there is helping me. So don't think that if you're doing internship in an X domain, it's going to be completely useless for the job you have in a Y domain. So if you have an interest, just yeah, I would say go ahead and pursue. It's good. You should have internship also in the domains you are looking out for a job in. For example, if you want to be an SD, it's good to have internship in an SD. But even if you have in a related domain, everything is at the end code. You know how to code. You are a software engineer. If you have an
Don't do micromanaging in your skills that I want this particular set of skills.
yes,
If you
exactly.
want to be HD, go for yeah, I want to be HD, but be open whatever comes at you. Because you have to understand the way you are coding right now is you focus more on even we used to focus more on how savvy that tech is, how savvy the website is looking, and how cool it is in the market. When you come to the client, when you come in the corporate, they want it the simplest possible software with the simplest level of coding and the simplest level of deployment. So
Yeah.
that's
And
the thing. Don't focus on which particular set you are looking. Go in your domain. Definitely go in SD or DevOps if you want to. For DevOps, if you want cloud architect, go in the cloud. Yeah, that is fine, but don't limit yourself. No, I'm going to do only Python. I'm going to do only Java because that's not going to happen. Software
yeah,
will change every time.
yeah. So
Streaks on GitHub a good thing with respect to placement. Do streaks not as such because even in corporate they know that we push our code once in a month, once, twice, thrice at max. If your code is going every week, that means you are messing up somewhere very bad. So they are aware of that. So it is they more focus on what level of projects and how unique are your projects, not because again they are also engineers, so they have a lot of experience. If you are going to any interviewer, they have interviewed at minimum of 5 to 6,000 of people, so they know a hell lot of projects which you even haven't seen so or heard of. So make sure your what you're doing is unique, it is your own idea, because once you have seen these many projects you will get an idea, like if it is of your own, even if it is very simple thing, but it will give you an insight of interviews tend to happen that they get to know that even if it is a simple solution, they will be able to formulate that if your idea was original or not, if your intent was original or not. That's the thing.
yeah, I mean, I think you should be able to explain what you actually did. That's the core point. Any line of code, if it's there in your GitHub link or anywhere, you should be able to explain what's the use case. That's what matters. That's why we always say you should post a GitHub link so that the interviewer is able to see. Rest everything doesn't matter. Just if you're able to explain, that's fine. Yeah, Dia, moving
All
forward.
right, all
I
right.
think Mansi Ragesh have a question for you. So just for the information, Java founder works in Mansi's squad. So
Yeah, James Gosling, he's a distinguished engineer at Amazon. But yeah, okay. Java programming, I love Java. I've done everything in Java. I used to do, I've done competitive coding in Java only. And web, the software I work, the backend is in Java. So Java is a very beautiful language. I absolutely love it. And it's used everywhere. Like most of the places you'll find Java is being used. So I would say that yeah, because when you go to interview, there is a section where the interviewer would ask you questions about OOPS principles and everything. It's good to have a knowledge of Java because you can give the example and Yeah, you can give for other languages as well, but Java is mostly used everywhere, so it's easier. So if you have interest in Java, learn it very well. It's going to help definitely.
I will share one of my experience here. I used to be expert in Python and I didn't knew Java. But I have seen after giving so many interviews that interviewers were more able to relate in Java. They were able to understand definitely Python. Every code is same, little bit syntax up and down. But they were more able to relate with Java or C++ if they are old. But yeah, they were Java. I have seen that it is kind of something which almost every developers know because they have worked on it. They cannot skip it, so they are more familiar
Yeah,
with it.
it's not like you should stick to one language or something, but see, Java is something VIT is also going to
Teach
force you
you.
to learn in soft skills when you come in third year. So, anyways, you have to learn Java. So, it's good to have a knowledge, but even if you have knowledge of C++, Python, that works. But in at industry level, Java is mostly used. That's my experience. So, yeah, it's good.
You will see lot of codes, but yeah, Java is something which is a common ground everywhere. Something, some module, some service, you will find that is written in Java. Definitely. So that's it.
So how did you like back in college? How did you manage your chapter work and like academics? Like, do you think being a 9 pointer is important?
I am not a nine pointer series.
I got 9 pointer. Yeah, it proved to be good because I used to skip classes a lot. My attendance was like 15%, 20% in many classes. So that was one thing which being 9 pointer held. But yeah, apart from that, like just kidding. And it's good to have a good CGPA. I won't say that that CGPA doesn't matter. It matters, especially in college placements. Sometimes there are some many companies which prefer 9 pointers. For example, when I was interviewing for City, after online round they shortlisted only people who had done well in coding round and they were 9 pointers. So sometimes it matters a lot. It does not always, but yeah, it matters. So it's good to have a decent CGPA. Not, I would say it should be above 9, but yeah, like 8.5 or anything. Yeah, you
Below
should have a
nine
decent.
pointers, don't be sad. If a company is taking above nine, that is not the right company for you. It is going
So
to be full of nerds. There isn't going to be a Friday night.
no, you will have Friday nights everywhere. But yeah, I agree with Vivank. There is no hard and fast rule that you should be a 9 pointer and you shouldn't be depressed because of that. But it definitely helps to have a decent CGPA so that you are not pushed out of the shortlist every time. So, and apart from that, I think managing academics, I mean, to be honest, I used to study at last moment, one night before, and give the exam. But what one thing you can do is whatever work you do in anywhere, be it your chapter or something, relate like it should be something related to your area of interest and what actually helps you. For example, when I was in IIT, like we were in tech team, me, Vivank, and other folks. So we used to work on web dev projects or some research papers or ML and everything. So that ultimately helped us a lot in our academics as well. So it never we never felt like we are missing out on something or we are compromising our academics because at the end, yeah, everything is fine. I mean,
One tip I would say, like as I said yes before, like try to do your own projects in the J component of your subject. So how we used to do our every J component project was being made in our chapter. We used to make it together and we used to submit those only. Like every semester we used to have like, let's suppose we have 3 to 4 subjects which are project component. We will take those, we will try to build something Maybe if there is four, we will try to build two projects which will satisfy all the four subjects criteria. Maybe if it is networking and app dev, so we will make some app which will help in cryptography. So that way, one project can be used for two subjects. And similarly, if there is soft computing, machine learning, and with it, some kind of other what I made with soft computing. Yeah, I took soft computing and this subject, what it was, distributed systems. So in that, I made a machine learning model like that to train on multiple clusters.
Mm.
So it got for the so those kinds of projects, even though if you think it is not that much of a big level, but yeah, at least we made it on by our own from scratch. So that helped a lot in our learning. So that's how we managed doing work even in chapter, because at the end it is helping us, it was upskilling us, and we were using the same thing in our academics as
Yeah, and adding a point to that, like while working with a team, you learn how to collaborate, which is very important for the job of any software engineer or any engineer in general. For any job, it's important to learn collaboration. It's important to learn how you delegate responsibilities within a team, how you collaborate, how you deliver the end result. So this one IT, being an IT, being a part of tech team, it was very helpful because we learned how to collaborate. We learned how to work in a team, and we worked on various multiple projects. So at the end, when we went for our internships or for our full-time jobs, somewhere we knew, okay, so it works like this because we had followed a similar kind of path in a very small scale, but we did follow a similar path. So
well. So
it's very
one
good
thing,
to have.
like not be just part of tech team. Desk duties
Yes,
are fun.
yes.
Okay, just you have to be with right person. So once you go on a desk duty, we used to abuse our president and vice president that ये क्या लगा दिया हम नहीं कर रहे. But at the end, you will find it very fun. Like you get to interact with a lot of, especially Mansi was an introvert. She used to shy when around us, but now it's like, hey, सुनो, इवेंट बेचना है. So
I remember.
it helps your communication skill on a whole different level. The right now, many of you will see that people stutter around other people's. They fear. That helps you overcome, and you have to convince other people to. So be very much serious in that. I wouldn't say do it every day. Yeah, you can just skip it. No one is going to kick you out of chapter because they know no one is coming to join their chapter. But yeah, that's the thing. So
But
it
yeah,
will definitely help you. Even if you are an admin, so convincing DSW is again an art of skill. So
yeah, I can imagine how much convincing power they would have required to get this session approved. But yeah, I agree. All the non-tech events or all the non-tech responsibilities you have in a chapter, do
I
it.
realized this when I organized Hack-Off that you have to
Yes,
get even a permission for a Wi-Fi, which is already available in the campus.
yes. So it gives a whole another level of exposure because communicating with other people and convincing and just asking them for it shows your understanding, it shows your management skills, which is equally important for any job, even for a tech job.
That will help you a lot in the interview, because that interviewer won't be intimidating for you because you have seen DSW, ADSW. Okay, so you will be like, हाँ सर सर करना है सर ज्वाइन करना है. अरे सर आप बात मानिए ना हो जाएगा सर मैनेज. It will be like that. So
So there
that
are
is
some points even in your corporate journey when you have to convince your manager, your seniors for something which you want to do, but it's not being done easily. तब वो डेस्क ड्यूटी वाला कन्विंसिंग पावर याद आता है भाई.
हाँ.
प्लीज आ जाओ टीयूसी में रजिस्टर कर लो. क्यों कर रहे? Then you give a whole list why you should register in TUC. How is it going to help you in your resume? You're going to get the certificate of participation.
Last Friday evening, I was convincing my architect, sir, ship kar do na, sir, nahi fatega, code kar do. And he is like, no, I haven't reviewed it. I am saying, like, sir, baat mani, it is a very good code. It is going to work. Just give it a ship. So that times you get to know, yeah, TUC बेचते थे. So this also we will be able to sell. So everywhere selling yourself is an important part. It's just not event.
Exactly.
When you go in corporate, you have to sell yourself.
Exactly.
You have to advertise yourself because no one is going to advertise you there that you are being part of Dell, you are being part of Amazon. Every single guy there standing is a part of Dell or Amazon with you. So at that time, it doesn't matter in which company you are working because all your colleagues are at the same stance. So at that times, it matters what you are doing and how you are selling yourself. So that definitely matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, coming to my last question, would you prefer to have a job experience then take masters or vice versa? What do you think?
Get a job experience.
Definitely job experience. It's going to, because one thing I have a explanation for this. Uh, One thing what happens is sometimes people they just have an idea of something and they move forward with that कि like बीटेक कर लिया अब तो एमएस करना है. When you get a job experience, you explore n number of things, and your preferences, your viewpoints, your priorities, your dreams change. They change according to your experiences you have had in your job, or they what you want in the future. It changes. So it's always, I would prefer have some job experience, get a clarity about what you actually want to do, and
Trust
then
me, you
move forward
haven't
with
seen
the
half
master.
of the world. If you are saying that, yeah, we are mature, we know everything, trust me, don't. Get out of college, get out of the pampered hands. Then you will know how serious the shit is. So get experience first, build a network. Network definitely helps because once you go for MS, there isn't any placement kind of thing. Your own network is going to give you a job, not the college. So make sure you build a good one before going there.
Yeah.
Don't you think we'll all get stuck to that uh, job mindset rather than a studying mindset if you do it?
Uh,
It won't be like that. If you are
hmm.
curious enough, you will be always oriented toward your goals, no matter
See,
what happens.
if you want to get a degree further, if you want to study further, you'll always find a way, you'll always find a motivation. Many people who work in corporate, many people in my team or some other company as well, they will discuss about how they would also have the same kind of goals of going for a master's or an MS or an MBA or whatever according to their preferences. So it's not like that. It is, I would say, slightly not difficult, but it is an effort. You have to put that effort to manage.
Also, one thing it is like if you go directly from your college, you will need definitely 99 percentile. But it's just like this graph. As soon as your job experience goes, your requirement of marks becomes very less. There is a point, there is a colleague in my company behind whom the top tier, I wouldn't name them, but the top, very top, like there isn't any, I guess, top college apart from that in India. They are running behind them that please sir, join us. They're giving you discount. Do an executive MBA from us because the next promotion for him is going to be a very senior executive. So that college will have this glance that that executive is from our college. He have done executive MBA. So it becomes like that. See, he haven't even gave some exam or some entrance exam or he haven't prepared. As his job experience grew, the college wanted to give them degree. So it works like that. So if you get a 5 year of experience, you will see the need of your marks will become exponentially less. So that's always there in MS at least.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm done with my set of questions. If anyone has any further questions, I request you to put them on the comments. And I would like to thank you so much, Vivank and Mansi. Like, we've reached the culmination of today's session, and once again, I would like to thank you for your time and knowledge. This session was quite informative and fun, and I gained a lot of knowledge for myself, and like, I hope I can carry on your legacy, honestly.
It's good to know.
Thanks, Dia, for actually inviting us, and
Yes.
Thanks.
we had some interaction with college folks and revived some college memories amidst this corporate life. So, yeah, thanks a lot. And thanks a lot, everyone, for participating.
Thanks for this.
We'll just wait for some time, like.
Yeah, sure.
I guess we can end the live session here.